There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the name. Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You're watching Casino is the name, and in this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the dump truck business. So I recently had a conversation with someone who owned a dump truck business and had a dump truck, and they're in the need of buying a new truck. And they said they were making pretty decent money. They were making, fairly decent money. They were making about $90 an hour with the dump truck, and now they need to buy a new dump truck, and they prefer to buy a new truck. And a few years ago, when they got into business, everything was good. But now that they need to buy a new truck, they're thinking about getting out of dump trucking and going back to school for something in the medical field, because the cost to buy a new truck, and they were looking at a truck that was about a 2020 and about 55,000 miles on it or so, say less than 60,000 miles. And it was going to cost about 230,000 or something like that. It was 200 and some thousand, whatever it was. And they said yes, they can. They know they can buy a cheaper truck that has more years on it and stuff like that. But they were looking for an automatic truck that, low miles, fairly new, so they could have less things to deal with in case it broke down or something like that. For them, their perspective is buy a newer vehicle with low miles, and they didn't want to go buy 1997 truck or something like that, or 2005. They wanted something newer. And based off of how much it would cost to get one, and the rising diesel prices and things like that, insurance costs, dealing with a newer truck and everything, they were saying that it just didn't make sense for them to take on that level of risk. So they're about to get out of dump trucking and go back to school. All right. So this is how the numbers broke down. So they said the truck would be about 230,000. Let's say 200,000 a year, over 200,000 a year. So 200,000, not a year, but 200,000. Of course, it's not in 1 year, but truck is like 200,000. So the truck, and they said because of it being a newer truck, the insurance is going to be, I want to say they said about 2,400 a month. I think that's what they said. That sounds crazy. 2,400 a month in insurance, the truck payment. What else? Oh, the rising diesel prices. Also, the $90 an hour, right? Let me do the math, right? So they said it's about $90 an hour, $90 an hour on average for 8 hours a day, right? We could do it like that, but most people work full time. It's like 2,080 hours a year, so that'll be like 40 hours a week. So it's 2,080 hours a year is what that turns out to be. So if you said $90 an hour times 2,080 hours, oh shoot, $90 times 2,080 hours is 187,200. Now this is where this is where dump trucking, or the world of dump trucking, comes in, because you can't drive when it's wet, and certain seasons it's just not good, for dump trucks. So what Shu said was you want to divide it by, well, say most times you work about 4 months out of the year you don't work. So 8 months out of the year you work. So if you divided the year into, it's 12 months. So that's about 3/4, or I'm sorry, 2/3 of the year you're working. So if you divide this by 3 and then multiply it by 2, give you 124,800 that you stand to generate during the year. Now, that is not including the gas costs, right? So then you have to take out a percentage of that. And I usually do about almost 30% for gas costs of that amount. So then if you divide that by, divided by, say, what do you say, multiplied by 0.6. So that leaves about 74,000, and then you got to still subtract from the 74,000 the truck note, the insurance cost. After all of that, and taking on that level of cost and working 8 hours a day, well, 8 to 12 hours a day. Well, they said it's about 10 hours a shift, because it's like 8 hours for the actual drive, and then the other 2 hours for, I guess, after work stuff you have to take care of or whatever. So it's about a 10-hour day or whatever. So they were looking to get out of that and to go back to school to do something in the medical field, so they can have more time with their family and all of that kind of stuff. So I just thought that that was a very interesting, I guess, perspective from that standpoint, because it's true that there is a downtime when it comes to dump trucking. I didn't know it was like a full 4 months, but you know, there's the times where when it's raining, rainy season, snowing, ice, it's a lot of different situations where you don't end up driving on those days. So, you know, it's just a very interesting way to look at it. So what you guys think? You know, the rise in diesel prices, because in my mind, if the diesel prices rise, when it comes to even like semi-trucking or hotshot trucking or whatever kind of trucking you're in, then that cost, the $5 a mile, the $6, not $5 a mile, but the $5 a gallon diesel cost, the $6 a gallon diesel cost, whatever it may go to. It could go to $10 a gallon, but the price of that has to be passed off to somebody else. So the rates would just have to go up. So if average dump trucking rates were $125 per load instead of $90 per load, per hour, my bad, per hour. $125 per hour versus $90 per hour. Would that offset the rising gas costs? Would that offset a lot of this other stuff? And so you know, if that's the case, then that means everything else is about to go up, you know? Anyway, what do you guys think? You know, is the better? You know, is that cost going to be passed along to the end consumer? How is this going to happen? But in my opinion, it just has to go up, because even with the rising gas prices, it just means that they're going to charge more in order to get the things to you. Maybe it's just a little slower to change because, you know, things have to take time before people start like really looking at, oh, I got to change my prices. You know, what did Fat Joe say? Yesterday's price is not today's price. You know, so that kind of thing. Anyway, right now you're watching Casino Is the Name. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. We out. Hey, yo, what's going on? Right now you're watching Casino Is the Name, and if you wanted to know how I started my trucking business, I have an ebook called Big Shot Hot Shot Volume 1, Own Your Trucking Authority. It's a great book, 5-star reviews. The link will be in the description below. Go get that. Yeah.
Beat me up, Scotty. Me and
her together, we just count it up. Money on my mind, I can't get enough. Don't play with my money, you don't want no beef. Cause I come from the bottom, I come from the street. When she first saw me, she said, who is that? When a man saw me, he called me a threat. I'm the one that really live with a rap. They ain't never did it, they ain't really trap.
You say you want to be successful. Well, what's stopping you? Can't nothing stop you from being successful except for you. You standing in your own way. I came from the bottom. I ain't know nothing but the grind. You can't tell me nothing about that. I caught the bus at Basin Street Projects in Tallahassee, Florida. You hear me? I used to think $1 million would last me my whole life.
I done made that and spent that. $1 million ain't enough.
There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? There's money everywhere. There's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the name.